with two configuration. One is bridge configuration, it means this circuit diagram, and another one is midpoint type configuration. So as this is a step up cycle converter, we convert this output side frequency more than supply frequency. So in the last lecture we take the example of converting the output frequency to 6 times supply frequency. Supply frequency is 50 Hz. So we convert this output voltage frequency at the load side 6 multiplied 50 means 300 Hz. Okay. So as you can see the circuit diagram, in one half cycle of your supply, this one we get the 3 cycle, and the negative cycle of your supply we get the another 3 cycle. So in one cycle of supply we get the total 6 cycle. So we get the step up frequency at the load side 6 times Fs. That's why it is called as a step up cycle converter. So we get this waveform by both the circuit diagram. Like first is bridge configuration and another one is by midpoint configuration. Clear? So today's lecture we will see the step down type of the cycle converter. Same single phase to single phase, but it is a step down cycle converter. So first we will see this step down by using the midpoint configuration, and then after we will see by the bridge configuration. So again we draw the diagram of midpoint configuration, and then we step down cycle converter. So this is a single phase to single phase step down midpoint type cycle converter. So same way here we first draw the circuit diagram, and then I'm going to derive the waveform. So as you know the circuit diagram of midpoint type, we have center type transformer. Here there are two thyristors. Then at the center of this transformer we have load. Here there is another anti-parallel thyristor, and this is a load. Clear? So as you can see here the circuit diagram, we have 4 thyristors. This is the supply voltage. Normal supply voltage of 50 Hz. Suppose it is a 230 volt. It is a 1:1 transformation ratio. So same supply voltage we get across the each secondary multiple. Yeah. So as we gave the name in the previous lecture, positive and negative group thyristor. This is P1. This is N1, P2, N2. Clear? Why we give the P name? Because it is a positive group thyristor, it gives a positive voltage, and N1 and N2 gives a negative voltage, so it is called as a negative group thyristor. This is A point of load. This is the center tapping, small a, small b. So positive voltage polarity is A point positive, O point negative, and positive direction of current is A to O. Clear? So when this polarity of voltage you get across the load side, it is positive voltage. If the direction of current is from A to O, then it is a positive direction of current. If it is exactly reverse, then it is negative voltage and current. So now for this circuit diagram, I want step down frequency at the load side. So suppose that my supply frequency here is 50 Hz. So step down frequency means lower than 50 Hz. Clear? So suppose that here at the load side, I want a frequency 1 by 3 times supply frequency. It means 50 by 3. Clear? So how to get this by using the midpoint configuration? So it means that for 3 cycle of supply frequency, I get the only 1 cycle at the output side. Here, you can also write this equation in another way. Fs is equal to 3 times F0. Here, it means that output frequency is 3 times supply frequency. Here, so it means what? In 3 cycle of your supply, you get only 1 cycle at the load side. So that is called as a step down frequency at the load side. Yeah. So here we take the example of this frequency. Okay. In the exam, you can ask for any type of the frequency, 1 by 4 time, 1 by 6 time. Yeah. So let's draw the waveform and understand this by using this midpoint configuration. So here your output frequency is 1 by 3 times Fs. So first we draw the 3 cycle of your input. Supply frequency, we draw the 3 cycle, and in this 3 cycle you get the 1 cycle at the load side. Clear? So let's draw the 3 cycle of your supply. So this is the 3 cycle, first, second and third. Here. So in this 3 cycle of your supply of 50 Hz, we get the only 1 cycle at the output side. So that's why we call as output frequency is what? 1 by 3 times Fs. So it means what? In the half time of this 3 cycle, we get the positive output voltage across the load side, and the another half of this we get the negative output voltage. So what is the half of this 3 cycle? 1 half cycle, 1, and this is a half. Clear? So it is a 1 half cycle. In this period we get the positive voltage, and in this half we get the negative voltage. So that one complete cycle will complete. Okay, positive and negative. So this positive cycle of your supply, you get the positive voltage. This negative supply, again you require the positive voltage. This positive supply, again you require the positive voltage. So based on that, you turn on this thyristor. Clear? So let's derive the output voltage at this frequency. F0 is equal to 1 by 3 Fs. So now tell me, for the supply voltage positive, means here positive, here is also positive, negative. So which thyristor come into forward bias? Yes, anyone? Which thyristor come into forward bias?
N2.
Sorry?
P1 and N2.
P1 and N2, yes, very good. But what is the output voltage we require here? Positive or negative?
Positive. P1.
Positive. So which thyristor I will turn on first?
P1.
P1. Okay. So I provide the gate pulse to P1 and omega t is equal to 0. Here. So that I get the full cycle of your supply at the load side. And assume that here we take the first resistive load. Here. So here you can see that when you fire this thyristor P1 at omega t is equal to 0, you get the same output voltage as the supply, like this way. And after that, again you require the positive voltage in the negative cycle of your supply. Negative cycle of supply means here polarity will change, minus plus. So now in this case, here for the negative cycle of supply, but again you require the positive voltage. So which thyristor is in forward bias and give the positive voltage? Yes, anyone? For the negative cycle of supply, which thyristor come into forward bias? Yes? Anyone? See here it is a negative. A terminal is negative, which is connected with the cathode of N1. Here it means it is in a forward bias, where P1 is in reverse bias. Okay. Where in the lower half, this B is positive, it is connected with the anode of P2. So it is forward bias. Where N2 is reverse bias because it is connected with the cathode. Positive is connected with the cathode. So in the negative cycle of your supply, N1 and P2 come into forward bias. But your required output voltage is what? Positive. So positive output voltage only and only given by the positive group. It means P2. Clear? So here at omega t is equal to pi. At this point, provide the gate pulse to the thyristor P2 so that current is flowing in this direction, so that with the positive voltage like this one. So here we first turn on P1, first positive cycle, and negative cycle turn on P2. So again we get the positive voltage. All of you understand this? Is there a doubt? Yes, anyone?
No, sir.
Okay. Now again we require the positive voltage for the positive cycle of your supply. Here is plus, here is minus, plus minus, plus minus. Here. So now tell me which thyristor come into forward bias so that I get the positive voltage here.
P1.
Yes, it is P1 again. Clear. So by turning on the P1 at omega t is equal to 2 pi, again I get the positive voltage. Same like this half cycle. Clear. So my output voltage is same as the supply. Clear. Conduction of P1. So you can see that if you take the average of this, you get the positive voltage only. Clear. Now in the next half of this, you require the negative cycle at the load side. So it means you turn on the negative group thyristor N1 and N2. Clear? Whichever is forward bias. So here now your supply voltage becomes negative, minus plus, minus plus, minus plus. So which thyristor you turn on so that you get the negative voltage for negative supply voltage? Yes, anyone? Which thyristor you turn on?
N1.
Sorry?
N1.
Let's check it. Negative cycle, A is negative, connected with the cathode. So N1 is forward bias. Okay. From the lower half, B is positive, connected with the anode of P2. So it is forward bias. So N1 and P2 is forward bias. Rest of R is the reverse bias. But we require the negative cycle so that you turn on the N1. Clear? So here in this cycle of supply, you turn on the N1. So here it is positive. So current is flowing in this direction. And A is negative. So during the conduction of N1, this negative terminal come at this side. And O point is always positive. It means that you get the negative polarity of the voltage. Clear? Same as the supply. So here you get the negative voltage by conduction of N. Clear all of you? Now tell me in the positive cycle of your supply, which thyristor will conduct? You require the negative voltage. Yes? Anyone?
N2.
Yes, very good. It is N2. Then thereafter again N1.
N1.
Here. So as you can see that here, in one half of your supply cycle, you get the only positive voltage by conducting P1, P2 and P1, and another 1.5 cycle, you get the only negative cycle. So positive and negative is one complete cycle you get in 3 cycles of your supply. Clear? So that's why we can say that output frequency F0, it means this output voltage frequency is 1/3 times supply frequency. It is 50/3. If it is a 50 Hz frequency. All of you understand this?
Sir.
Any doubt? Yes.
Sir.
Yes.
We have to give the thyristor. So, sir, there won't be, I mean, like triggering angle alpha.
Sorry.
There won't be a triggering angle as we are providing a gate pulse to turn on the thyristor.
Here we providing the gate pulse at zero crossing instant. Here, if you require the voltage control, then you provide the firing angle at any alpha. You will see this after this topic. Okay, for any angle any firing angle in the alpha, like alpha 30 or 45. Clear? So for this case, we will see the waveform in the next topic. Okay, so this is the waveform of step down cycloconverter for alpha 0. This is for alpha 0. First we take the simple case. Clear? Thereafter we see the for different alpha with inductive nature of load. Clear? So first we see the basic concept, then after we move for the different conditions. Okay? Read out. So here this is the 1 by 3 times Fs. Okay. So in exam suppose you can ask that convert this into 1 by 4 times Fs. So it means what, in 4 cycle of your supply you get the 1 cycle. So here we do the only 3 cycle. So suppose if you do the 4 cycle of supply, here you complete the 4 cycle also. Clear? So in 4 cycle you get the only 1 cycle at the load side. It means in first 2 cycle you get positive and next 2 cycle you get the negative. So in that case, what is the sequence of conduction of thyristor? Yes, anyone? What is the sequence of conduction of thyristor? First 2 cycles you get positive vertical. So it is say P1 first conduct, so get the positive voltage in positive cycle of supply. Then conduct the P2, then P1, and again you conduct the P2 because you require the positive voltage up to 2 cycles. So 2 cycles completed here. Yes. So again you turn on this P2 here. So you can see that in 2 cycles of supply you get just positive voltage, and same way in the next 2 cycles 3 and 4 you get the negative voltage N1 N2 N1 N2. Yes. So based on the frequency requirement at the load side, you can change the sequence of conduction of thyristor. So this is N1, this is N2, N1 and N2. Clear? So you can convert any of the step down frequency. Is there any doubt in this one? Very well. Yes?
No, sir.
Okay. So I hope all of you have drawn this waveform. Clear? So I move for the next topic. Same way here. This is the step down midpoint type cycloconverter. Now we see the same output voltage, same frequency by the bridge configuration. Here. So just I remove this figure of midpoint type and draw the figure of bridge fashion or bridge type of cycloconverter. So that we have done in the last lecture. Same way. Supply. So here we connect the supply positive at the first leg and negative with the second leg here. And same way here at this negative group thyristor. This side we connect the positive with the first leg and this negative with the second leg here. Clear? This is a positive group thyristor P1, P2, P3, P4. This is N1, N2. This is N3, N4. Positive polarity of current is this. Positive direction of current is this. Upside to close side. So by using the same configuration, bridge type configuration, again you get the same type of waveform. But what is the difference? Here we require the 8 thyristors. Positive group 4 thyristor and negative group another 4 thyristor. So now tell me for the same frequency 1 by 4 times Fs. Output frequency is 1 by 4 times Fs. It is for the same waveform. Which thyristor I will turn on the sequence? First, positive cycle of your supply. Which thyristor here I will turn on so that I get the positive voltage at the node side? Yes, anyone? Supply positive. Yes.
P1 and P2.
Yes, very good. Positive cycle of supply here. So output voltage also required is positive. So always turn on the positive group thyristor. So which thyristor going to forward bias for positive supply? P1 and P2 only. P3, P4 is reverse bias. Clear? So here just difference is what? At the time two thyristor will conduct. Clear? So P1 and P2 is conducting. First positive cycle of your supply P1 and P2 will conduct. Same way in the negative cycle of your supply minus and plus. Again you require the positive voltage. So which thyristor going to forward bias? P3 and P4. Sorry, it is a thyristor. Okay. So P3, P4 is forward bias for negative cycle of supply. So turn on it. So you get the positive voltage. Clear? Same way, positive cycle of supply, again we require positive voltage. So P1 and P2. Same way, P3 and P4. Understand all of you? Positive cycle output requires conduction of only positive group thyristor, whichever is forward bias. Okay. So P1, P2, P3, P4, P1, P2 and P3, P4. All of you understand up to this? Any doubt? Yes? Anyone? Is there a doubt?
No.
Okay. Now negative cycle also supply. Now which thyristor is conducting? Supply is positive. I require the negative output voltage. It means here first, here minus. Yes? Which thyristor coming to forward bias? See the supply voltage is positive. Plus and minus. Positive is connected to the first leg and negative is connected to the second leg. So positive cycle of your supply, positive connected to the anode of N1 and negative terminal is connected to the cathode of N2. This N1 and N2 is forward bias. So that first N1 and N2 is forward bias and which gives the negative voltage. So it means turn on the N1 and N2 to get the negative voltage. Same way in the negative cycle of your supply, N3 and N4 come into forward bias and which gives the negative voltage. So N3 and N4. Again repeat N1 and N2, N3 and N4. Clear? So waveform is remain same, just change the number of thyristor and symbols of thyristor conduction. Clear? In both the configurations, mid-bridge configuration and midpoint type configuration. Clear? So this is a single phase to single phase step down bridge type of cycle converter. Clear? Both this configuration gives the same output voltage if you require. Just change this conduction of number of thyristor. Clear? In midpoint type, only one thyristor conducting at a time. Bridge type, two thyristor will conduct at a time. So I hope all of you understand this concept of step down cycle converter for bridge and midpoint type for simple resistive load and without any alpha. Clear? Now let's check this waveform step down cycle converter for RL load and for different value of alpha. Yes, for different value of phi angle. So suppose that I take the phi angle alpha is equal to 30 degree and take the RL load R and L. Clear? Suppose assume that my value of R is 10 ohm, L is 0.01 Henry. Clear? It means 10 millihenry. So when you taking the RL load, first of all you calculate the power factor angle phi. So phi equation is what? Tan inverse XL divided by R. Here. So, what is the value of phi? All of you calculate. Give me the answer. Tan inverse XL divided by R. XL is 2 pi FL. Your supply frequency is 50 Hz. R is 10. So, what is the phi? Just please, anyone give me the answer? 40 number Pranav Kumar. Give me the answer of phi. number Pranav. आवाज आ रहा है प्रणव ने मारो 40 number Pranav Kumar. Are you present or not? Okay, Pranav is absent. 40 number. Next 44 Kunal.
Sir, 0.
Sorry.
0.0.
0.0. See, this is L. This is XL. 2 pi F into L. R is 10. Yes. Anyone who have calculated phi?
17.44. Sir, 17.34.
17.3.
34.
34. Okay, then our answer is 17.34 degree. Clear? So this is the RL load power factor angle is 17.34. It means what? Your load current is lag behind your voltage by this much angle, 17.34. Here, this waveform is for resistive load. So that's why I am not drawing the waveform of load current because voltage and load current are in the same phase. Get for the load current for resistive nature of load. Clear? So that's why I am drawing this current for resistance load. But for the inductive nature of load, your waveform of load current is different from your output voltage. Clear? So now here for this case we draw the load current also. Clear? So first of all we draw the output voltage for this condition. Phi is equal to 17.34 and alpha is equal to 30. So let's redraw the waveform of output voltage for this condition. Okay. So alpha is 30 degree for all the thyristors, all these 8 thyristors. Here. So now can which thyristor you fire first and at which degree? Yes, anyone? First positive cycle. Frequency requirement is same 1 by 4 time fs. It means 2 cycle you must require positive. Next 2 cycle you must require the negative voltage. Clear? So positive cycle of your supply, you get the positive. You require the positive. So which group of thyristor you turn on first? P1, P2 obviously. Yes or no?
Yes,
Hello?
sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
But which phi angle? Alpha is equal to 30 degree. It means suppose this is your alpha, omega t is equal to 30 degree here. So here you fire this P1 and P2 thyristor. Clear? So it means that between 0 to 30 degree. P1, P2 is in off condition, so output voltage is 0. Here we draw the waveform for initial condition. Initial condition means that we assume that before this cycle, all the thyristor is not energized. Here, so your circuit will start from here. So output voltage start from omega t is equal to 30 degree here, where we fire the P1 and P2 at alpha 30 degree, and get the output voltage same as the supply voltage, like this way. Here, so this supply voltage connected to the load side here, from alpha to pi, by conducting of P1 and P2 simultaneously. But again you can see that these are inductive nature of load with the degree of 17.34. What will happen? After the pi, your thyristor P1 P2 is off, or it is remaining conduction. Sudhir? Yes? Anyone? It is remain conducting, or it become off at omega t is equal to pi for inductive nature of load.
It will conduct until the inductor discharge.
And when it is discharged, at which angle?
High.
Power factor.
Pi plus phi. Okay. Phi is the power factor angle 17.34 degree. So at 17.34 degree, after this zero crossing pi, the load current becomes zero because all the energy stored by the inductor during this waveform, that is discharged after 17.34 degree from here. So pi plus phi, it means 180 plus this phi 17.34. So it is how much? 197.34. Clear? So it is here. Suppose this is a phi. This angle is 17.34 degree. So at this point, what will happen? Your all the energy stored in the inductor that will discharge. So inductor start discharging from this angle pi degree. So it means that your still P1 and P2 is conducting. Here, initially positive cycle, direction of current is this, but because of the presence of inductor, what will happen? Initial polarity is plus minus, but it will change the polarity and make the direction of current as it is in the same direction, so that it will discharge, and at pi plus phi here it is completely discharged, so that P1 and P2 becomes off here. So after the pi, your P1 and P2 is still conducting, but supply voltage becomes negative. You can see that supply voltage becomes negative. So whatever the supply voltage you get across the load side, so it is negative supply voltage. So at the load side also you get the negative voltage. So conduction of P1 and P2 is from alpha to this pi plus pi angle in this duration, P1 and P2. Clear? So at this angle, pi plus phi, whole inductor is discharged. It means current flowing from the P1 P2 becomes zero. So P1 P2 becomes completely off. Now, in the next cycle, this negative cycle, again you require the positive voltage. Clear? So which thyristor you will turn on first? Yes, anyone?
P3, P4.
P3, P4 at which angle?
30 degree.
मतलब 5 plus 30.
मतलब
Pi plus 30 degree. Okay. After the pi alpha, it is pi plus 30 degree. Here, your pi plus alpha is greater than pi plus phi. You can see here. Alpha is 30 degree, phi is 17.34 degree. So it means this is the condition of pi plus alpha greater than pi plus phi. It means when pi plus phi current flow becomes zero, after some time at pi plus alpha, it means 210 degree, your P3 and P4 thyristor is gated and it will turn on. Clear? So what will happen here? You can see here at pi plus phi, your output voltage becomes zero. like this way. Clear? And at pi plus alpha, suppose pi plus alpha is this one here. Just after pi plus phi. Clear? Pi plus phi is 197 and pi plus alpha is 210. Clear? So just after 13 degree, here you fire the P3 and P4 so that you get the positive voltage. Clear? How you get the positive voltage? How you get the positive voltage for negative cycle of supply? Yes, anyone? How you get the positive voltage? Yes, anyone?
P3, P4.
Supply is directly minus plus. Okay, so negative terminal is connected with the cathode of P4 and positive terminal that is connected with the anode of P3. Clear? So current is flowing from positive P3, P4, load P4 and negative terminal. So you can see the direction of current is positive and polarity of the load voltage is also positive. Clear? So it means that again you get the positive voltage. So from here pi plus alpha to 2 pi you get the output voltage same as the supply but positive because of conduction of P3 and P4. So I mark here with the red line the waveform of output voltage. First by P1, P2, then for the short period of time becomes 0, then P3, P4 conduction gives the positive voltage. Again same procedure is happened because inductive nature of load. So P3, P4 will never turn off at 2 pi angle. It will turn off at 2 pi plus phi angle. Suppose 2 pi plus phi is here. So up to this angle I will get the output voltage. Clear? Clear all of you? Up to this point? Any doubt? Yes? Is that clear to all of you?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes,
So
sir.
P3, P4 is conducting up to 2 pi plus phi. Here, 2 pi plus phi. And then after it becomes 0. And after that 2 pi plus alpha, again you require the positive voltage, so again turn on the P1 and P2. Clear? So from 2 pi plus alpha to 3 pi plus phi, you get the output voltage because of conduction of P1, P2. Here P1, P2 positive voltage, but after that you get the negative voltage, like this one. Clear? And then becomes 0 and 3 pi plus alpha. This is 3 pi. This is 4 pi, 5 pi, 6 pi, 7 pi, and 8 pi. It means 4 cycles. So this is the waveform here. You get because of conduction of P3 and P4. But again, because of inductive load, up to 4 pi plus phi, you get the conduction of P3, P4. And 4 pi plus alpha. Now, after that 2 cycle, you require the negative voltage. So now which thyristor will turn? You get the positive voltage in 2 cycles. Now you can see that you not only get the positive voltage in 2 cycles, you get the positive as well as negative, this part. But you can see that this negative voltage duration is very less, its magnitude is very less. So if you take the average of this voltage in 2 cycles of supply, it always comes positive. So it means that in 2 cycles you get the only positive. Average voltage is positive. Clear? This negative you get because of inductor, but its value is very less as compared to the positive value. So average is positive. So it means you get the first half cycle of your output voltage. Now same way in the next 2 cycles, 3 and 4, you require the negative cycle at the load side. So it means turn on the negative loop thyristor. So which thyristor you conduct first for positive cycle of your supply? Yes, anyone? Here at 4 pi plus 5, your P3 P4 becomes off, and at 4 pi plus alpha, here you must turn on the negative thyristor so that you get the negative voltage. But which thyristor you turn on first? Supply is positive. Positive is connected with the first leg, negative connected with the second leg. So N1 and N2 is 4 pies. So it means you turn on the N1 and N2 to get the negative voltage across the load side. So here at 4 pi plus alpha, when you fire N1 and N2, sorry, this N1 and N2, you get the negative voltage. Means here plus, here minus. Here. So from here, you get the negative voltage, magnitude is same as the supply, conduction of N1 and N2. But again the same condition, inductive nature of load, so current cannot become 0 at 5 pi. N1 and N2 is still conducting after 5 pi, up to 5 pi plus 5 here. So in that case you get your positive voltage. Clear? And at 5 pi plus 5, current becomes 0, so N1 and N2 becomes off, and at 5 pi plus alpha, you fire another negative thyristor, N3 and N4, because again you require the negative voltage. So at 5 pi plus alpha, you turn on N3 and N4. So again you get the negative voltage up to this 6 pi. Clear? Again, it is the inductive nature of load. So N1 and N3 and N4, that is remain conducting up to 6 pi plus 5 here, and becomes 0. Okay, so this sequence is repeated again at 6 pi plus alpha. Again turn on this N1 and N2, which gives a negative voltage up to this 7 pi. N1 and N2. Again, you get the positive voltage up to 7 pi plus 5, and 7 pi plus alpha. Again, you get the negative voltage up to this 8 pi by conducting N3 and N2. So here you can see that after the 4 pi, your average voltage is negative up to this 8 pi. This next is cycle. So positive and negative. So this is a condition of inductive load for different value of alpha. Here take 30. Same way you can take any alpha. Alpha 30, 45, 90. Whatever magnitude of voltage required the load. So it means that by this cycloconverter, step down cycloconverter, you not just change the frequency, you can also change the magnitude of output voltage by changing the final value. Clear? So I hope all of you have understand this concept of step down cycloconverter for different alpha with inductive nature of load. Is there a doubt to anyone up to this point? Yes, anyone have any question? Okay.
Sir,
Yes.
Sir, usually in step-down transformer, we know that there is a natural commutation or the line commutation.
Yes.
But practically, is it possible?
Means?
I mean, like for frequency above, for greater frequency, is it possible for the cycloconverter without force commutation?
You are talking about step down or step up cycloconverter?
Step down.
So this is a step down. It is lower than 50 Hz.
Yes, sir.
So natural commutation happens. You can see that here at pi angle, if it is a resistive nature of load, then at pi angle your supply becomes naturally 0. So that P1, P2 becomes off automatically here. Same way at 2 pi, P3, P4 becomes automatically off because of nature of supply. So there is no force commutation required in step down cycloconverter. But if you see the step up cycloconverter, where you require the output frequency more than supply frequency. In that case, in one cycle of your supply, you require the number of output cycle. So in that case, you must turn off your thyristor forcefully, because in that case you can see that there is no natural zero happens in between the half cycle. This is a positive cycle. So as we see in the last lecture example of step up frequency 6 times Fs. So in one positive cycle you get the 3 cycle. Here. So you require the positive as well as negative. But in that case, what will happen? Naturally, zero not happen your supply. So in that case, you require the force computation to get positive, negative, and complete the 3 cycle in one half. Same way in the next half, you complete the another 3 cycle. So again, you require the force computation. So that is the difference between step up and step down cycloconverter. That in step up cycloconverter, for turning off of the thyristor, you must require the force computation circuit. Otherwise, you will not get the step up frequency. But in the case of step down, you will not require any extra computation circuit, because your thyristor will naturally turn off. Clear? That is the main difference between step up and step down. Understood?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Is there any doubt to anyone? Yes? कोई अगर डाउट है पूछ लीजिएगा. Now one thing is remaining here. Yes?
No, sir, ऐसा कहा.
Okay. Now one thing is remaining here. You can see that we just draw the output voltage only. Now what is the waveform of load current I0? What is the waveform of load current I0? Because here I have not space enough, but I can draw here by removing this supply. I can draw here the load current waveform. Here. So can anyone answer me the how the waveforms of load current comes for this output voltage? Yes. Here alpha you turn on the P1 and P2. Okay. And your thyristor P1 and P2 turn off at here. Okay. So from alpha, what will happen? Current will increasing and gradually increasing into this inductive load. Because as we know, the nature of inductive load is what? That opposes the rate of change of current, di by dt. So current will not change gradually. Current will not change instantaneously to peak value. It will change gradually because of inductive load. So now after this alpha, when we fire P1 and P2, for this voltage, your current will gradually increases into the loop like this way, up to the angle pi. Here, this is the pi angle, this is alpha, so it is increasing like this way. Clear? Now after this pi, what will happen? Again your P1 P2 is still conducting. But during this time, your inductor is discharged. It means that current will discharge from this P1 and P2, from this inductor. So it means that value of current is decreasing and becomes 0 at this angle pi plus pi. So here your current becomes 0 at pi plus pi. When voltage is 0, current becomes 0. So from pi plus pi to this pi plus alpha, your current is remains 0. Clear? And again at pi plus 5, you again turn on the P3 P4, which gives a positive voltage. It means you get the positive current. So again current is gradually increasing from pi plus alpha here up to this 2 pi degree, like this. Okay. And from 2 pi plus 5 here at this angle, it becomes 0 because inductor is completely discharged. So there is a gap between pi plus 5 and pi plus alpha. So during this, output voltage is 0, and that's why your load current is also remain 0. You can see load current is remain 0. Same way continuous, again P1 P2 is conducting at pi plus alpha. From here, it is remain conducting up to this 3 pi. So it is continuously increasing, but after that 3 pi plus 5, it is discharging. It becomes 0. So this is remain continuous. And again 2 pi plus P3 pi plus alpha, P3 P4 is turned on. So current is gradually increasing. It is discharging from 0. Here 4 pi plus alpha. Again N1 N2 is conducting. Now you get the negative direction of current because you get the negative voltage. So you get the negative current and it is increasing gradually up to this 5 pi, and 5 pi plus 5 it is discharging and become 0 like this way. And 5 pi plus alpha and 3 and 2 conducting, again you get the negative voltage, so it means you get the negative current up to this 6 pi, gradually increasing, discharging. Again N1 N2 is conducting, again you get the negative current, discharging 0, again increasing. So this is the waveform of load current. For inductive nature of load, when the pi plus alpha is greater than pi plus phi. So if you observe this waveform, in this waveform of load current, your load current becomes 0 for a certain period of time. Here, between pi plus phi to pi plus alpha in this duration. So that's why it is called as the discontinuous waveform of cycloconverter. Discontinuous waveform of cycloconverter. That is occur at pi plus alpha greater than pi plus phi. If it is opposite, pi plus alpha is greater than pi plus phi, then you get the continuous waveform of load current. That we will check in the next lecture. Continuous waveform of load current, or it is called as the continuous type of the cycloconverter. Continuous type of step down cycloconverter. So here I stop this lecture and over this topic. So again I repeat, summarize this lecture. We start the step down cycloconverter with two configurations. One is midpoint configuration and bridge configuration. Both the configuration can give the step down frequency. Just change this what number of thyristor conduction. In midpoint type only one thyristor conducting, bridge type two thyristor conducting. Okay. First we see the waveform for resistive load. Thereafter we see the waveform for different alpha like alpha 30 and inductive nature of load, and output frequency is 1 by 4 times Fs. Clear? For bridge configuration, same waveform of load voltage and load current you can get for the midpoint type configuration also. Clear? Just change is what at a time only one thyristor is conducting. Here P1 conducting, P2, P1, P2, N1, N2, N1, N2. Same waveform you get. Just change this configuration. Clear? So I hope all of you understand this topic, step down cycloconverter. So one topic is remaining in the step down, that is a condition of continuous load current, which you get for pi plus alpha less than pi plus phi. Look sir, that we will see in the next lecture. So here I stop this lecture. If you are in doubt, you can ask the question. Yes, anyone? Is there a doubt?